Chapter 40, Chapter 3. The one who came out from inside the mansion was a beautiful girl, the same age as Leo. She has a very wavy black hair and beautiful blue eyes. She has a white and smooth skin and is about 165 centimeters tall, though not on the same level as Princess Aisha or Princess Freya. She looked lovely. Dad, you're home. The girl smiled at Duke Hazel. She jogged, then jumped into his arms. Yeah, I'm home, Clara. Duke Hazel returned the girl's hug with a warm smile. Clara Castelline is the only daughter of Hazel Castelline and Eleanor Castelline. Her black hair is what she got from his father, because Eleanor Castelline has blue hair and is not a native of the Nigel Kingdom. Dad, when did you arrive, and who is he? After breaking free from his father's arms, she realized that there was someone she didn't know along with her father at this time. I just arrived, and your mother picked me up at the front. He is the one who will be your servant. His name is Ken Nijasaki. Duke Hazel introduced Zeal to Clara. Is that true? Although you forgot about that. I've got to introduce myself. My name is Clara Castelline. It looks like we're not that far apart in age. I'm glad to be your acquaintance. Clara introduced herself to Zeal the same way her mother did. Looks elegant and dignified. My name is Ken Nijisaki. I'm currently 69 years old. Please forgive me if my manners seem under-refined. I also feel happy to acquaintance with you. Zeal lowered his head and put his hand on his chest. While introducing himself, he could see that Clark Astley was very spoiled by her parents from their exchange. Oh, we turn out to be the same age. Hopefully we can get along quickly. So please don't be so too stiff. Clara smiled beautifully, like a bloomy flower. I understand. I'm pleased to serve you, my lady. Zeal nodded slightly in response. He didn't show any expression at all, but he saw Clara's beautiful smile. Okay, you already have a butler, and you can be lazy with your training from now on, Clara. Now Ken needs to rest because it's a long journey, and he starts working as your butler tomorrow. Raven, please take Ken to his room. Duke Hazel was feeling very tired. I wanted to rest soon. Yes, my lord, I will take you to your room, Ken. Raven, come and walk towards the room served for Zeal. Yes, if so, I'll leave first. Zeal lowered his head to Duke Hazel and others when walking after Raven. At midnight, in a room in the Castelli residence, Duke Hazel was sitting and reading the reports in his hands. Knock, knock, knock. Honey, it's me. May I come in? Eleanor's voice came from behind the door. You can come in, honey. Duke Hazel answered while keeping a look at the reports in his hands. Eleanor came in and held a cup of tea in her hand. She put her teacup on her husband's desk, and she was sitting on a log not far from there. It's already midnight, honey. He just rested for a while after coming home from the previous trip. Is work that important? Eleanor was worried to see her husband's face that looked tired. It is very important because it concerned the assault accident that happened to me today. Duke Hazel said with a darkened face. Did a person do it? Eleanor wanted to know who had attacked her husband on the way back home. I still don't know who it is, but the person I suspect the most right now is that person, Margaret Jacob Remington. Duke Hazel sighed heavily and leaned back in her chair. Insolent bastard. So the previous attack on this mansion was his doing too. Eleanor gritted her teeth while holding back her anger. Calm down, honey. The most important thing right now was Clara's safety. Luckily I met Ken on the trip, so I didn't have to bother looking for anyone else anymore. Newcastle had a look of relief on his face. Can he be trusted, honey? Eleanor asked Newcastle. She still had a little doubt about Zeal. You know how I am, right? I can't possibly make a suspicious person as Clara's guardian knight. Although I don't know exactly where he came from, I'm sure he is not a spy. It's just my feeling, but I believe he is the right person to protect Clara. Even though they had just met, Newcastle seemed to have trusted Seal a lot. Well, if you think so, I believe in your decision. Eleanor smiled sweetly and no longer questioned her husband's decision. She stood up from her chair and approached Newcastle, then gave him a light kiss on the lips. Please don't stay up too late. I'm going back to my room, honey. Good night. She then walked out of the room. I understand. Good night, honey. Newcastle smiled at his wife and refocused on her board in his hand. At midnight, Zeal suddenly opened his eyes and woke up from sleep. I haven't even started working yet, and trouble has arrived. Zeal sighed and quickly got up from his bed. Then he put on a robe to cover himself. Zeal saw a dinner knife on the table next to his bed. As he was about to leave, then he took it and disappeared from his room. Newcastle's residence was quite spacious, apart from the luxurious and elegant mansion. The garden has a beautiful and colorful view, many flowers and trees are planted there, so that the residence looked gorgeous and refreshing. That night behind the trees hid 4 people dressed in black and covered their faces. Execute according to plan. This time must not fail. The man in black and holding a dagger gave another order. He looked like a leader of the group, so target this time is Newcastle's daughter. Another person in black spoke. He was carrying a wand, like a magical in his hand. Yes, this is an order from the boss. The leader answered in a low voice. Can we enjoy it before we kill her? Another person in black who was holding an axe in his hand spoke while laughing. No, we have to kill her as quick as possible and get out of here. Do you understand? The leader spoke threateningly. Okay, the person holding the axe answered nonchalantly. Let's finish soon, because I'm sleepy. The last person was holding 2 trident in his hands. Yeah, let's finish soon. The leader suddenly stopped talking. He felt a terrifying aura that sent chills down his spine. He had never felt that way during his time as an assassin. He was like a kitten eating a tiger. His body was shaking, and he couldn't move an inch. It wasn't just him who felt it. All of the men felt silent, and the bodies were also shaking and dripping sweat from their foreheads. Get out of here, the leader shouted from the top of his lungs to warn his men, but it was too late. A barrier had already formed and blocked their way out. Damn it, what is this? Quickly break this barrier and run away from here. The leader shouted and attacked the barrier, but the barrier was not scratched in the slightest. No way, not even a scratch. With the strength of the captain, who is a dagger master, the man in black who was holding an axe was shocked to see his captain's attack did not affect the barrier in front of him. I can't believe we can't break this barrier. Let's attack together. The leader shouted in frustration at his subordinates. They unleashed their full power attacks. 5 magic circles and aura seals were visible on their bodies. Therefore, people are at the master level. Lightning ball, mounting braids, death slash, piercing hard. The combined attacks were aimed at a single point of the barrier, so the barrier would receive a greater impact as the attack gathered in one place. Boom! Chapter 41, Chapter 4. Smoke and dust covered the entire area. The destruction power of their combined attacks was strong enough to break the barrier created by Magic Grandmaster. Did he make it? The leader narrowed his eyes and muttered. When the smoke and dust disappeared, he could only stare in amazement. How? No way! How could his barrier not be broken? In other words, there are people with power above Magic Grandmaster in this place. The leader gritted his teeth to feel something extremely dangerous approaching them. What the leader feels becoming a reality. From the darkness suddenly appearing, the black-robed person with a blurry face. His whereabouts could not even be detected until he showed himself in front of the 4 assassins. I want to see how strong the people who came to attack this mansion are. The black-robed person said in a low voice and walked over them. Who are you? The leader unconsciously stepped back in fear. To think that a person sent for Master to this mansion to kill a little girl. It looks like he has a lot of money and power. The black-robed person ignored the leader's question and continued muttering to himself. The black-robed person is zeal. He made a barrier so they couldn't escape and disturb the people inside the mansion. He also wanted to see to what extent the person's strength was sent to kill the master. I was about to serve unexpectedly that person ordered for master level assassins to kill a little girl. Then I'll take care of you now. Zeal took out a diner knife from inside the rope. He took a step and then disappeared, leaving an aftermage. Then he appeared behind the person in black, who was the only magician in the group. 1. Zeal stabbed his knife straight into the mage's heart. The mage realized Zeal's presence too late, so he didn't have time to dodge or defend himself. The attack, when he should see before he lost consciously, was a blood dripping from his chest. Zeal compressed his aura to extreme into the knife to make it easier to penetrate the enemy's body, because the higher the level of strength, the tougher every part of their body. That applies to knights or mages, but the knights had an advantage in their physical over mages. Because of that, there was no way an ordinary dagger knife could pierce the body of a master-level mage or knight. The mage in black died without being able to do anything. He's dangerous. You attack him together. The leader was frightened after all his men died within seconds. An axe wielder, trident wield, and leader with a dagger attacked simultaneously. The 3 of them opened their 5-hour seals. Zeal stood still, waiting for them to attack. The axe user swung his axe at Zeal's head. A bat pattern aura seal foamed on his body. Zeal stabbed his dinner knife covered in grey light towards the axe weapon breaker. The tip of Zeal's tiny knife met the tip of the axe blade. It wasn't Zeal's knife that shattered, but the man's axe that broke instantly. The axe user was shocked because the diner knife crushed his axe. Zeal took advantage of it and directly slashed the person's neck. The axe user died while clothing his neck. The next attack came from the trident and dagger user. Zeal faced a slash of the dagger in the same way he fought an axe wielder, and as expected, the dagger also shattered. The leader was about to retreat after his weapon shattered, but Zeal quickly caught him and made him a human shield to withstand the trident thrust that came at him. What are you doing, bastard? The leader was stabbed in the back and shot at his subordinate, our captain. The trident user tried to pull out his weapon, but before he could do that, Zeal kicked the leader until he was pelted with trident users. Then Zeal threw his diner knife at their heads, and they died simultaneously. Maybe there will be more trouble to my job in the future. Zeal sighed heavily and snapped his fingers. Suddenly, the four bodies burned to ashes, and then disappeared in the wind. Zeal pulled back his diner knife, then removed the barrier and left the place. In the morning, in the garden area of the Duke Castelline residence, a boy swinging his wooden sword. The boy is Zeal. He woke up early in the morning, and after cleaning up last night's trouble, he had previously run around the vast gardens of Duke Castle's residence dozens of times. After that, he did the regular sword practice. Zeal never did this in the morning when he lived in Argent Kingdom Castle, would do it at night before morning because he would be suspected of where he learned swordsmanship from. This day was the first day he started working as a butler for Clara. After completing the routine practice, Zeal quickly took a shower and put on his butler uniform. After that, Zeal went to Clara's room to wake her up because he had already got Clara's schedule for the day. "My lady, it's morning. Are you awake?" Zeal knocked on Clara's room. There times, but no answer. Scene was the same as when he worked as butler for Princess Alice in Argent Kingdom. "My lady, your magic teacher will be here soon. If you don't wake up soon, Master will wake you up." Zeal kept knocking on Clara's room. Crack! The door opened. Sleepy Clara came out of her room, yawning on her little lips and rubbing her eyes. Her hair was a mess, and most important, she was still in her nightgown. Clara's curves can be seen because the nightgown was a bit transparent. She has a wonderful body shape. "Oh, Ken, what's wrong?" Clara asked, and still wasn't aware of the situation. "My lady, you better change your clothing first." Zeal lowered his head and then looked directly at her. Clara looked at herself with her sleepy eyes, and after hearing Zeal's words, after realizing that she was still wearing her nightgown, she quickly slammed the door and shut. "Yeah!" Clara screamed. Could be heard throughout the mansion. "What's wrong, Clara?" Duke Hazel screamed in concern after hearing his daughter's shouts. He looked breathless as he had to run in a hurry behind him. "Is his wife Eleanor Kathleen and his butler Raven?" "Nothing, Dad." Clara's voice came from inside the room. "Ken, what's wrong with Clara?" Duke Hazel was dissatisfied with Clara's answer, and then he answered Zeal. This is..." Zeal explained what happened earlier to Duke Hazel and others. "I thought something happened to Clara." After hearing what Zeal said, Duke Hazel laughed while his wife smiled wryly at her daughter's behavior. Not long after, Clara's bedroom door opened. He peeked out through the gap in the open door. "Please forget what you saw earlier, Ken," Clara said quietly to Zeal. "Every day in the morning, Clara will do magic training. Magic and swordsmanship were essential to noble families. Today she will be taught by a special magic teacher for the following years." Duke Hazel, Eleanor, and Clara were waiting in front of the mansion. At this moment, Zeal and Raven also waited behind them. The luxurious carriage that entered Duke Hazel's residence stopped right in front of the mansion. The person inside the elegant carriage was an important guest for Duke Hazel's family. The person who got out of the carriage was a beautiful young woman, about 25 years of age, with short golden hair and yellow eyes. She wore a green dress and carried a long wand with a purple crystal. "This woman is Clara's special magic teacher. Welcome to my residence, Miss Beatrix." But Hazel greeted the woman in a very polite manner. "You don't have to be so polite, Duke Castelline. You even waited for me in front of the mansion." The woman nodded and smiled at Duke Hazel. Then she looked at the woman next to Duke Hazel. "Eleanor, how are you? It's been a long time since we have seen each other." The woman exchanged hugs with Eleanor Castelline. "I'm fine. You look excellent, too, Beatrix." Eleanor returned her embrace with a smile. The woman's name was Beatrix Artevica. She was an old friend of Eleanor, even before Eleanor married Duke Hazel. She was a genius mage, and her current strength was at the Magic King level. She had come to Duke Castelline's residence because Eleanor had asked her to teach magic to Clara personally. "Is that this your daughter?" Beatrix smiled and looked at Clara. "Yes, Clara, this is Mom's old friend, Beatrix Artefica. She is a genius mage. She is currently one of the strongest kings on the continent and will be your magic teacher for the next year." Eleanor introduced Beatrix to Clara. "Wow, awesome! Beatrix, nice to meet you. Please take care of me from now on." Clara smiled happily while she was looking at her idol because Clara liked magic and idolizing strong mages. "You're beautiful, just like your mother." And she was young. Beatrix suddenly felt a chill run down her spine as she spoke. She was a mage king, and her senses were sharp and very sensitive. Beatrix knew very well that the feeling she had earlier was a horror. Then she looked around and finally stopped at Zeal. "Where is he?" Beatrix narrowed her eyes at Zeal.